Hello, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. I'm Greg.
I'm Ben.
And today, we're drinking whiskey.
Close.
Close, very close. All right, Ben, what's in the box?
What's in the box?
Well, there is usually how we do these. There's nothing in the box, but
What
we have
was
something
in the
that
box?
was in the box.
What's in the box?
And it is the original Jesse James America's Outlaw Tennessee Whiskey. So you did a good job of catching that in the title, because I would have messed that up and gotten in trouble with people from Tennessee.
I'll call it bourbon before the review is over. Just to
I'm
annoy
sure.
somebody.
I'm sure we will.
Unless it's bad.
Yeah.
Then it's totally a Tennessee whiskey.
Well, geez, now you're really gonna get people going if anybody watches this. So this one, it doesn't really have a lot of information on the bottle.
Right.
It just says it's distilled and aged at least 24 months in Trimble, Tennessee. I don't know of any. I'm not really familiar with the distilleries around Tennessee to be able to tell what that might be just by the town, but maybe some people would know that. So it's at least 2 years, so 2 years one day then?
Sometimes we see those and it seems like it tastes better. It looks a tad light, although it's got a really nice looking bottle.
Yeah, this is just like an old school, I mean, maybe that's what they're going for. Like you would
yeah.
see, like you could kill someone in a bar fight with this, like in the Old West.
Mortally wound.
Yeah, for sure. So it comes in at 80 proof, and it's a single barrel. What was the price on this?
$27 at Total Wine.
Ooh. Bold.
Both Ben and I have tried a couple of Tennessee whiskeys recently,
Yeah.
and I've been extremely impressed.
Yeah, we really liked it. We had Jack Daniel's Bottled in Bond. And what else did we have?
A little more. We had that George Dickel.
The 11 year.
Yeah, the 11 year.
Yep. Bottled in Bond as well.
Yeah.
So, all right. It says on the side, in loving memory of an American outlaw murdered by a traitor and coward whose name is not worthy to appear here. 1847 to 1882. So there's some strong opinions on this bottle.
I would agree, yeah. And maybe with, I don't know if Jesse James was from Tennessee. It's hard to say. I don't even know if that's even provable.
I don't know much about Jesse James, to be honest.
Yeah.
I guess maybe should have watched a documentary or something before drinking this whiskey.
Welcome to History Channel and Bourbon Note.
Yeah. Definitely getting the young
corn and maybe even grass.
Grassy, for sure. Yeah.
Like wet hay, as in like lots of horses that are about to eat, kind of wet hay.
Yeah. And that, I typically tend to get that on younger age bourbons that are maybe a little lower proof. Mm-hmm. I think with some of the younger stuff that we've drank, that's, it says, 2 years or whatever, we've had one recently that was a higher proof, and that kind of helped cut some of those.
It does, it saves
flavors out.
Right.
And then if you have a lower proof, longer age helps, bring some more flavors out of that lower proof. So at 88 proof and 2 years is
80 proof.
So 80 proof.
Low proof and low age.
Yeah,
they're behind the 8 ball.
Yeah. Wait, does behind the 8 ball mean you're?
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know how that word works.
Yeah, I'm not a swimmer.
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of all I'm getting is that it's a bit of anytime there's a really low proof, the caramel comes out lightly, but you don't get all that complexity of like the barrel.
Yeah.
If it's a not a well aged and still low proof.
Yeah.
I don't really tend to get like those brown sugars and that spice.
And they're really complex wood notes and the vanillas and stuff like that. Yeah, so I'm gonna dig into it.
That's different.
I do get brown sugar.
Maybe a little bit. It's definitely a little more bold on the palate than it is on the nose.
Agreed.
Very sweet.
Yep.
Extremely sweet.
Yep.
This is all just candy.
I get a very slight hint of and I don't know if it's young corn or that almost grassy kind of note on the tongue.
See, I'm losing that on the palate.
Losing 99% of it, but it's barely there.
Mm-hmm.
If you only taste it, you could fool me that it's maybe a tad older than actually 24 months. It's a little bit more balanced.
Yeah, I guess I would agree with you. Now going on the second sip, I'm still getting that grass a little bit on the palate, but it's not as much as the nose.
Right.
I feel like this... I wonder
dog.
if that'll pick up. There's a dog laying down right here.
Well, it's not just any dog. It's your dog for the weekend.
Yeah. No, just for the night, actually.
Oh, the night.
Yeah, it's my grand dog. So, but yeah, this one, it stays kind of in it's different on the palate than it is on the nose, but it also kind of stays in its lane to a certain degree. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's just kind of, for me anyway, the things I don't like about the nose kind of get stripped out on the palate, and the things that I'm looking for on the nose kind of show up on the palate. So it kind of goes in the right direction for me.
Yeah.
Still, it's young and in low proof, and that's noticeable.
But this may be the sweet spot for certain people who are, newer into the bourbon/Tennessee whiskey area. Mm-hmm. This may be what they're looking for, because this is definitely not off-putting. Like I think it's approachable. It's inexpensive. I've only seen it once, but hopefully it's available. And if you want to, you could absolutely mix this with a ton of different things.
I would say this would be, if you're new, this would be interesting to try.
To try and see if this is the type of bourbon whiskey you like.
But I feel like this isn't really like a standard bourbon, in the sense that it has those kind of different notes because it's probably just because it's so young. Mm-hmm. But like if you were to take like a classic bourbon like Evan Williams, Wild Turkey, or something like that, this is definitely in its own kind of
that we just did a review of. Yeah,
this is kind of in its own lane aside
even
from those.
Even like a George Dickel. I mean, if we jump back down into Tennessee and said hi.
Yeah, I feel like this is just different enough where it might be somebody's wheelhouse. Mm-hmm. But if I were to want to show a new person, hey, this is just generally what bourbon tastes like, I don't know that I would pick this.
I would agree that. Yeah, this is a little bit out there at the edge.
Yeah,
this is not a center defining characteristic of Tennessee whiskey. Yeah.
But like you said, it's not off-putting.
No,
at all. So yeah, it might be just somebody's wheelhouse. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, not bad for $27. I mean, if nothing else, man, that's a great bottle on the shelf.
Absolutely.
If you pick it up and don't like it, I mean, we all have those bottles on our shelves that we don't really like, but it kind of pads the collection and keeps the shelves full for when you...
Keeps the shelf full, and then when your neighbor comes over, dude, you got to try this.
yeah, and you can just pawn it off onto people. And,
exactly.
So, all right, well, do you have anything else on this one?
I don't think so.
All right, well, this has been Jesse James Tennessee Whiskey. I'm Ben.
I'm Greg. And remember... everything happens for a reason. Sometimes the reason you're stupid, you make bad decisions. Cheers.
He's got a point.